Hello, my little cucumbers, and welcome back to the Coop'd Up Podcast. How are we doing? We are back. Well, I'm back from Florida. I hope everyone had a great Christmas. I know I did. I am back here in the home studio, rounding out the year for our final episode of 2025. I am just so happy for the new year. I'm so excited for new things, new opportunities, and I can't wait. And I am just looking forward to see what the podcast has in 2026. So I kind of wanted to talk about my trip to Florida and kind of just things that I've had on my mind or things that people have said to me personally. So before we even get into that, we're going to start with, you already know, what are you wearing? I'm going to stand up for you guys since this will be the last what are you wearing for the year of 2025. So let me get up, do a little with a shoe. Oh no. Caught in the wire. But I am wearing these Abercrombie wide leg kind of at the bottom jeans. They're like straight leg with like a little wide at the bottom. I'm wearing my Louboutin boots that I had to beg for like 3 years, but I finally got those. And I'm wearing this long sleeve mesh shirt that I thrifted. I don't know where it's from, so I'm sorry I can't tell you. But this is the fit for 2025, the ending fit, the ending what are you wearing? And I'm hoping to incorporate a little bit more of the what are you wearing and kind of the outfits into 2026. So if you guys have any ideas, I am all ears. I am open to any suggestions, but we are going to get into the Florida trip. I surprisingly had a good time while I was there. I'm always hesitant when I go to Florida because it's kind of just like, for me, I'm like, it's the good old South. And I am just not a very much person who conforms to society around him, which is kind of why I left to begin with. But, you tone down the outfits just a little bit. I still gave, though. I know you guys saw the photos, but some of the outfits, I just had to tone it down a little bit. But I enjoyed myself. I spent a majority of the time in Florida with my family. I flew in with Stella. We took an overnight flight, and we landed in Florida. And normally, I like to get there early in the morning so I can just go straight to sleep because that's like my thing. I kind of figure once you get there and you go to sleep, I kind of just I can adjust easier. But I slept for most of the day, and the first day I went out with my sister and her friends, which is kind of like a thing. I kind of tag along with them every year for the day that they go out with at least these two girls who I absolutely adore. One of them is like my doppelganger, except she's just a little bit more, I would say, vulgar. She's so funny. Don't get me wrong. I took a picture with her. You guys saw. She is my girlfriend. We take a picture every year together around Christmas. I met her when I was living in Boston, and she still lives in New York City. And that's when my sister was living there, and I had a whole bunch of friends who lived there. But I met her. I love her. And yeah, I went out with some of them and some of their other friends. I met a couple other new people that I didn't know, and it was a good time, honestly. The first night, it was a good smooth ease into the start of my trip, especially since I knew kind of my mom's birthday is Christmas Eve. So I always have Christmas Eve and Christmas is typically blocked off for my family. And although I did fly in for that specific reason to be with them for the holidays and for my mom's birthday, I actually don't really have that many friends left in South Florida, in West Palm, where I grew up, which is surprising but not surprising. A majority of my friends who I am friends with in Florida, they don't live in West Palm anymore. They've all ventured out and, started lives elsewhere. So it's really hard to try and meet up with people, especially when everyone's in different parts of Florida and no one's typically going back to West Palm unless it's for something super, super specific. So I had some friends who were in Florida, some who were in Miami. I had one who came down to West Palm to visit some family who I was super excited to meet. Unfortunately, well, not meet, but she has a daughter. And I was super excited to meet her daughter because it's been a minute since I've even seen my friend. But the stars just didn't align in my favor because we were going to meet up on Christmas, but we couldn't because I kind of held everybody up on Christmas. Because when we went out for my mom's birthday on Christmas Eve, I had espresso martinis and I had escargot, and I don't think espresso martinis and escargot go together. So that is a good recommendation for you guys. I had 6 snails. I only wanted 3, and the waiter told me there was 5, and he gave it to me, and there was 6. So I was kind of SOL on that, but I had the 6 escargot and the 2 espresso martinis with tequila. That's the way to go. Obviously mezcal. If you guys didn't know, now you know. There's a little tip on that, but that did not sit well with me coming into Christmas morning, so I kind of held everybody up because I was just like asleep the entire morning. But Christmas was good. Santa Claus was very nice to Daddy J. I thank you, Santa Claus. He got me a lot of things that I asked for, and I was just so excited. I do have some gifts that are on the way that are going to be a surprise, but I know about. It's kind of like this thing that my mom and I have, so I'm excited for those. But I actually enjoyed myself this trip. I got to see my brother and his family and my 2 nieces, who I absolutely adore. They're getting way too big. I don't know what to do with my life. I'm going to have to start going to Florida more often because they keep getting so big every time I see them. And I'm like, where is the time going? Like, sheesh. But the trip in itself was good. I got to spend time at the beach. I got a haircut. As you can see, I got a haircut from a friend who's a barber. And we got to catch up and we got to talk, and he caught me up on some things that were going around town, which it's always great to hear. But I did see some people from high school though. When I was running errands on one of the days, I saw some people from high school. I did not say hi to them at all. I just kept it moving. I was thanking God that I got a haircut because I'm probably like, they probably don't recognize me with short hair. So like I'm going to get away with just like squeezing on by them and not having to say anything because I'm not a big fan of a lot of people from high school. And they all stayed there. No one left. So I was like, ooh, skirt. I will not be coming back to this specific area. But the trip to Florida in itself was good. Like I got the beach. I got the pool. I got my Publix subs, and if you guys don't know what a Publix sub is, you're missing out because Publix subs are literally the best subs. Chicken tender. It'll be the best thing you've ever eaten. If you end up dating me, I will bring you to Florida, and you'll have a Publix sub, and then you'll want to get married because it'll be the best thing you've ever had, and you'll be thanking me that I introduced you to a Publix sub. But I very much enjoyed it. My trip to Florida was great. The trip coming back was a little rough, okay? I had to fly 11 hours. I had a connecting flight in Atlanta, okay? And when I was in Atlanta, our flight already got delayed by an hour. And then the pilot called out. And I don't know if that's a thing. I've never heard of a pilot calling out of work. But the pilot called out, and so they had to fly in a new pilot, and that took 3.5 hours. And that was just the whole thing. And I'm like, why am I traveling for 11 hours when it's a 4.5 hour flight? I don't know. That was the only thing that pissed me off. But other than that, the trip was good in itself. I do miss my family. And, it's a little hard because I did bring the equipment to record an episode in Florida, but my family is very much private. They don't like anything public. So it's hard to do stuff around them and still respect their privacy. But I didn't record an episode. I got lots of content with the things that I was doing, but no recorded episode there. I'm going to do the episodes in the studio. But the goal is, for 2026 to have some type of expansion with this in itself. That is, one of my resolutions. I'm trying to grow this. And a lot of people have been asking me if I'm ever going to have guests. And the question is, maybe in 2026 I might have guests. Although it might be weird wearing glasses and having a guest and talking to a guest with glasses. But then also maybe I can give them glasses and that can be like our armor and we can just have like candid conversation and no one will have to worry about what they're saying because they're behind their protective glasses. So we'll see. But I do have things that I want to change for 2026. I would honestly just like to thank everyone who has been along for the ride for 2025 and who is going to continue to grow with me in 2026. And I hope we just end this new year with a bang. Can't wait for this new year and this new season of the Coop'd Up Podcast. So you guys know exactly what to do. You can like, subscribe, comment, follow, share, do whatever you need to do to make sure you stay all cooped up with what we got going on here. But until then, I love you guys. I'll see you guys later. Happy New Year. Mwah. Besos. Bienvenido. Whatever other language you need me to say it in. Bye.